I just finished watching three of the best Christian movies I think that I own. And the last one was Facing the Giants. It's interesting because every time I watch that movie, I get a new message out of it. You know, there's quite a few different themes and morals that you can learn from it. Um, but above all, the title kind of says it all. Let me start with telling you a little bit about myself. If you haven't watched my other videos, then you have no idea who I am. So, hi, I'm James Eugene Hun. Uh, Depending on when you watch this video, I'll either be 19 or above. Currently, I'm 19. And I lost my father less than a year ago at the time that this is being made. My life has been full of giants. I struggle with a lot of things. Um, I could do a video about all of them. It'd probably take a while. But the three of the strongest things that I've had to struggle with is loss, because I've lost a lot of people, the biggest being my dad. Um, I had an issue with alcohol a while back, for those of you who don't know, and I've struggled with my sexuality quite a bit in the last few years. Um, like I said, we all have giants. There's no point in denying that, but just like the movie emphasizes, you have to go out and realize that God is bigger than any giant you could ever stand up against. Losing my dad taught me one thing. You can't depend on people. People can be amazing. People can do great things. But in the end, we will always fail. My dad was my hero. He was my idea of what Christ must have looked like, because except for the 2 or 3 times that I think I really saw him lose his temper, he was perfect. Not to say he was perfect, but except for. And God showed both of us how weak he really was, and that's just a reality of human nature. In Facing the Giants, you see the story of a nobody football team and a nobody football coach go from the bottom to a state championship, and at the very end, God answers their prayer and they win. It's just a movie. But a movie like that isn't that far off from reality. It really isn't. I've seen these types of miracles happen. I've seen people change in big ways that fast. And usually it's because of one thing. This amazing manual that God gave us so that we can do amazing things. But we go to church once, 2, 3 times a week, maybe more. And we sit there and listen to a pastor talk. And they go into our little groups and we pretend like we're there so they can change our lives. But in reality, we listen to them and then we go and talk about cars and coffee and what you're going to do that entire week until the next Sunday. That's human nature. We're distractible. That's part of the sin corruption, I think. But I want to challenge you. And I'm challenging myself as well. Take this book, open it up anywhere, and just start reading. And instead of closing it up when you're done, leave it open. Leave it open wherever you finish reading. So the next time that you sit down where your Bible is, you have no excuse but to keep reading. Because if you close that Bible, you're essentially closing God's mouth. If you close God's mouth, then you can't listen. Because you don't want to listen. This goes for all kinds of people. Kids in preschool who have a little storybook Bible, and no, I don't want to do that right now. And we have the older people who go to church and tithe 25% of whatever they have and walk out thinking, all right, I did my church this week. What's for lunch? We all do it. It's a human flaw. And it's especially a big problem in my generation. Because we're too busy watching YouTube videos to pay attention to what's right there in front of us and what's way more important. I mean, I could say things and, ooh, that sounds really important, that sounds really smart. But we're missing so much if we're not paying attention to the right kind of entertainment. And I only call this entertainment for the fact that this will change your life. This may not always be, oh my gosh, Jesus, what? That's so exciting. But it will lead you on an adventure. You can have your own adventure. You can have the best backup in the world. You can have the one who created you to have that adventure backing you up if you follow this book. How much more entertaining is that to see what God has in store for you? How much more exciting and exhilarating can life be if you just read that book? We have a lot of giants. I've already told you 3 of mine. Look at your life and find those giants, because those are the things that are keeping you from that book. And then you need to deal with them. But realize that you can't deal with them. There's only one person who can deal with them, and he speaks through this book. You know, a lot of people that I've sold video games to on eBay, they complain because I don't send them the reader's manual so they can figure out how all the controls work. I would say life is a lot more important than a video game. And if people are freaking out over a video game manual, shouldn't we be freaking out way more over a life manual? We've got things every day in our face distracting us from what we are called to do. And we go, oh my gosh, I can't get through this. I can't do this. This is too hard. I can't get my black belt because my Achilles hurts or my back hurts. It's just an excuse. Oh, I can't pass that test. The teacher's insane. I think you're lazy. I know, because I've been there. Still am. Oh my gosh, I can't mow the lawn today. It's too hot outside. Maybe if you got up earlier, just saying. But all those things are excuses. And okay, you don't get your black belt. You don't mow the lawn. You don't pass your test. You're going to have to pay for those things later. And you're going to be freaking out because the whole world's going to seem like it's mad at you, and the whole world's going to seem screwed up. So what do? Hey, Bob, you want to go out for ice cream? Try to avoid your problems. Why don't you stop avoiding problems, which in turn creates more problems, and pull out your own video game manual to your life, the ultimate video game, and let God tell you through His Word what you need to do about it. Stop dodging the giants, because they're going to step on you eventually. And let God come in there, pick them up, and smack them down. Go see the movie Facing the Giants. All things are possible with Christ who strengthens me. I have faith that each of us can change the world if we just have a little faith, because it says in the Bible that faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. Do you know how small a mustard seed is? I suggest you go buy a jar of them, spread them out over your table, and try and sort through each and every one of them, and you'll find out just how quickly how small those little fuckers are. And if one of those can move a mountain, I have no doubt that God can move anything that's in your way.